It's my favourite day of the week. It's Sunday, and that means it's Mixed Media Day. Can you tell I'm excited? Anyhow, I have this gorgeous Vicki Boutin texture paste. It's iridescent glitter, and it's beautiful. So I'm absolutely obsessed with this at the moment. All I've done with it, black piece of cardstock, palette knife, smear. That's it. You could use a credit card if you don't have a palette knife. I'm just smearing it across the cardstock. Just roughly in the centre-ish, give or take, and that's it. That's going to be my background. So I need to let this dry off a little bit, because working onto the wet is not going to do anyone any favours, including me. So whilst this dries off, I'm going to create some tags as embellishments. You know, it's the way it rolls. I've dried it off a little bit using my heat gun, mainly so that if there are any cats kicking around in the studio, I don't wind up with a paw print in the middle of it, which, yeah, it's an occupational hazard when you've got cats around the house. So like I said, onto the tags. I've pulled out some tags from my rather excessively vast stash. I'm going to use some oxide ink, some Craft butterfly stamps and some archival ink to create an embellishment, really. There's nothing else to say about it. I have two colours of distress. So I have, I think it's pickled raspberry and, no it's not, preserved berries and peacock feathers, I think. I'm going to use my ink tool to just put the oxides onto the tags. Nothing that you won't have seen before. It's really simple, just circular motion to add it. After that, I'm going to use some water, and that's going to give it depth and texture. I'm just going to splash the water onto those tags, and that will react with the oxide inks and create a watery effect, I suppose is the word I want. Something like that. And we'll get those dried off, because there's no point working on wet with them. It's not going to help us at all. Once they're dry, then I'm going to go on and stamp them. Now I've got the butterflies, and I'm going to use those alongside some archival ink. So I've put all the tags together. It's just going to make it so much easier for the stamping. It's the only reason I've done it. But I've pulled out a purple and a teal ink from the archival inks that I've got. I'm going to use those just to stamp the butterflies randomly. So nothing technical about it, nothing spectacular. It is literally stamping images. I have actually with these ones kept them all fairly vertical, which is unusual for me. There's not a lot of twisting or going off on a tangent slightly with them. They're very, well, normal, which is unusual for me. And once they're done, I'm going to pop them to one side and start working and building up my layout. The first thing I'm going to do is mat my photo, and I'm using a pink Cocoa Vanilla Studio for this. I've cut it to the same size as the photo, 6x4. I'm going to use this behind my photo. I want it to peek out from the top. Also, benefit of this means I can cut some out of the back and still have a bit of paper from it, so it'll wind up in an L kind of shape-ish. For me, this is very much just playing around, sticking bits down hither and thither and hoping. So I've got that kind of L shape going on in the background, and I'm going to stick this down to the bottom so that it's just angled off the page slightly. I've also punched out 3 inch circles in that same paper, which I'm going to add up the top, and then I decided a 4th one was a good idea. I want to get the tags on now. These need to be the focal point for me, so I want to decide where they're going sooner rather than later. I think what I'm going to do, I've got a lot of space, I'm going to build them up the side. The photo looks like I'm deep in thought, so those circles are going to help. And I've also put a little square on the back of that tag so that it highlights the W underneath. I'm not going to add any letter stickers to this particular layout. I'm going to let it speak for itself, to be honest. I don't want to add any journaling. It's all about the photo and playing around with the paste on this. So get those tags tucked in behind the photo, and generally I'm messing around with them until I'm happy with those, and adding the circles in afterwards just to, I don't know, just to sort of bring them forward and add a bit of movement to the page. So I've got this sort of central line where everything's working down the page. It's not a bad idea if you're asking me. Now I'm going to go on and get some embellishment done. I've pulled out some stickers, various bits that I think might work, or might not, as the case may be, depending. And I'm going to start adding these to my page. So initially, it's finding out whether things are going to work. And that's just trial and error. That's laying them down, saying yay or nay, picking them up, or not, as the case may be. Maybe stick them down even if I like the way it's working. Yeah, I know, very, very technical. So that's very much how I embellish all of my pages, is very trial and error. Now, with this particular page, I've had these stickers, most of these stickers, for an absolute age, and I want to get them on a layout. So first things first, tuck a few bits in here and there. I decided that the wood veneer wasn't going to sit on its own, and I wanted to have that other tag sticking up as high as I could. I also have these Prima leaves. Now, I've had them forever. They need to go on a layout. I've got 3 of them, but I'm probably only going to use 2, and I think they will bookend the photo nicely, so either side, left and right. But first of all, I want to get some little word tags on there. It's very much one of these pieces that's all about the visual rather than an actual bit of journaling or a title or anything. It took me a while to get these leaves positioned properly. They are a pain, but I got there in the end. I've used a wet glue to stick them down with because, well, the only other way is to staple them. They won't hold any other way, just purely down to what they're made of and the textures that are involved with them. But that's okay. And then I pretty much call it almost finished. I thought I was only going to use the 2. I'm wrong, I've used 3. But they're on a layout now and I'm really happy with them. And they work. They help enhance the photo. They blink in with the trees that are back there. The iridescent gives this sense of mystical, magical kind of thing. So it all works together really nicely, and I've got loads of little embellishments just tucked away in there. And I've added those lovely little craft butterflies, which I've had for years. And that's it. It is a really simple layout. It looks like I've used a lot of stuff. I haven't really. I've still got tons left. But it's a lot of the same things, so it's a really good way to use up bits that you've got. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you've got any questions, leave me a comment. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!